Hi, I'd like to introduce you to a few John Deere 130-pound tow-behind spreader hacks that made it a little less frustrating to use. If you notice the block down there, basically what I'm doing is I put the bracket on the bottom side of the tow bar, which raised up the front end of the spreader more. And that block in there also just adds strength. That way both pieces are playing part of the suspension of it. And the stainless steel on your feed adjustment, change that carriage bolt from the one they give you to a stainless steel carriage bolt, flat washer, and wing nut. These the bolts that they sent, they're definitely going to be prone to rust, so it just works a lot better. And then if you're going to get on the spreader and you want to start it, basically there's a notch down here that the bar catches on. I move it just to the edge of the notch. I start rolling the mower, coming up to the edge of my grass. I reach behind and slap it with my hand. It easily pops out, opens up, and I'm spreading fertilizer. The other thing that you definitely want to do is, I bought this thing brand new and I put it together last week, but the Gearbox is absolutely terrible as far as the amount of grease they give you. There was like 2 swipes on the ring gear, which is about this big around, and of this blue grease. Well, I used marine grease and lubed up that gear, because when I took the plastic box apart with those pins on each side and at the top, there was already shavings of aluminum, I guess because it's brand new and it's not a highly precision made. But I greased it up with marine Valvoline grease. Also, before I put the wheels on the axle, I greased the inside of the plastic bushings, bearings, whatever you want to call them, and I grease each side of the washers that are rubbing up against the wheel. And also thin layers is all you need, and some grease on the axles also where the bushings ride. That way I get a high chance of it being where it needs to be. Other than that, that's about it. I'll go ahead and demonstrate you the block one more time. As far as the block and tackle, if I want to shut it off, I have this rope laying in my lap, and I just pull on it and it pulls the handle back, and we'll lock it in place. Again, set it on the edge, tap your hand, then pull on the block, and bam, it's locked, shut off. Not dropping fertilizer anymore. I'm going to go ahead and switch to a different position so I can give you a few close-ups of the block and also the hitch to explain better. Stand by. Also, if you noticed, I put some stainless steel washers on top of that hitch behind the mower, and that way they're rubbing against that instead of the paint job and that rusting all up. We'll see how it works. You know, may have to spray it every year, or OSPO it once or twice. But there's the gearbox again, where you can pull the pins out and the two halves come apart and you can re-grease it. Now I also put grease on the spring. That's highly likely to rust, and also with the friction. But then here's the block, a little bit better close up. This piece here was on top, and I said, nah, I need a little bit higher, it's not level. So I went ahead and flipped this piece over, because I still ended up, you know, with a bunch of fertilizer still in the spreader. So I flipped this piece over, measured, cut the block, drilled the hole, and put a screw in the bottom to help block it and keep it in there, retain it, and then the hole for the pin through the block. And that's about it for right now. I used it the other day. It was fairly reasonable. I was happy. So, oh, I want to show you one other thing. I bought this off of eBay, but that's a pulley without a bail on the bottom, and I just stuck a bolt through there and had it hanging out and stuck washers and nuts so it could move freely. You know, just a little stiffness, but you know, it could still swivel. And then this could be your part number and your manufacturer here. I just saw these on eBay and I went ahead and I grabbed them. I've had them for another project, and I really don't remember what I was going to use them for, but they came in handy on this project. Let me see what else. Let me check my list. Oh yes, I'm gonna hook the spreader back up. Show you again. This block, flipping this around raises you up about inch and 1/8 plus this, inch and 3/8 higher. Tell you what. One other thing, I wanted to give you a close-up of the pulley and how it's mounted. And see, this part has a bail. You don't really need that. You can just get the other one with the pulley, but you just run the bolt through, and I use 2 3/8 nuts on a 5/16 bolt. As the nuts were used as spacers to get the pulley a little bit further away where it wouldn't drag across this right here. And got it further away, a little bit more reasonable of an angle, because when you pull it in, it pulls over from the angle, which makes it drop into the slot. Over your lap. That way when you turn, it moves freely, won't pull on the handle or anything. Or I even tie it off loosely to my height adjustment for my blades. But sit in and tap open and lock close. A little bit easier. Not real impressed for the amount of money I paid for it, but the spreader, but it did the job, and it was a lot easier than pushing a spreader. Talk to you soon. Good luck. Bye-bye.